Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2. Let me introduce the fastest Zerg player in the world, sometimes Protoss, but reverting to his native form, the Italian Stallion. It's Reynor, but giving him more than a run for his money. The #1 Terran player in the world, and making an argument for the very best of everyone. It is Team Liquid's Frenchman, the kid. It's Clem, the DreamHack Atlanta champion, and looking absolutely incredible right now. It's going to be a very tall order, in my opinion, for Reynor to reverse his performance. Oh my. Going by Jack Frost. Reynor dodges. I'm not sure of the Jack Frost nickname, but remember, Liquid Clem, aka Liquid Clam. Reynor has trolled Clem before. I'm not sure what it's about this time, but he's going to continue the Brenda bouts. If you want to see Reynor give Clem something to think about, well, hopefully, you'll also see that like button and think, you know what? Maybe this time. And Jimmy, what are we? 1,200. Oh my God. 1,234 likes on this video, on this cast, on this grand finals of the ESL Cup. And we'll cast another series. And statistically, it will probably feature Clem. But thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've had a good day so far. And hopefully, these two, the fastest players in the world, will make it just a little bit better. I think Reynor was making fun of the fact that Clem was unable to delay or keep him from killing the drone. But at the end of the day, Clem, I think, got the last laugh on that one, at least so far. The Hellion Reaper. Clem has lost nothing. Technically, Reynor only lost the minerals it takes to cancel the extractor. But we got a 7 roach push on the way, but a Banshee out of Clem. We've kind of stabilized somewhat, I think, on this sort of opener. The Banshee has made a resurgence, going from like 30% to over 50% of games, give or take, as it's just so consistent, especially at dealing with what Reynor's doing right now, which are those early roaches, which are designed to carve out map control and then allow you to drone ridiculously hard behind. So the thing about the roaches, well, one, you obviously can deal with the Hellions. At the same time, even if there is a Banshee, usually the Banshee does have to come back and defend. So, Reynor isn't sending the roaches out. But instead, well, Banshee doesn't have Cloak done. The Queens will strongly disagree with its presence there. And the Banshee will have to back off at least until it finishes that Cloak upgrade. But with the Banshee being revealed, already some Spore Crawlers in production. So Reynor shouldn't have any issues with deflecting the Banshee, though I'm sure Clem will find every opportunity to sneak it in and get some damage. Sometimes Clem has kept those Banshees alive for like 12, 15 minutes. And even later, 200 supply finding opportunities for him. But 5.5 minutes in, Reynor's at 60 drones and counting, now getting double Evo chamber. The engineering bay clearly completed, +1 infantry weapons already on the way as Clem going for that marine tank style. The Banshees might be cloaked, but they were still spotted as Reynor already building an Overseer. 2 of them, indeed. Is it going to be the Mass Roach Ravager style? We haven't seen Zergling speed yet at all. Banshees pushed away, but the Hellions try to come in towards the third. Great block with the Evo chambers on both sides. Beautifully done by Reynor. Yep. The Queens, please, respectfully, off my creep. Thank you. Thank you. Now we have Zergling speed on the way. +1 Carapace. Overlord wanders in, take it out. But if there wasn't enough confirmation before, at this point, Reynor can be quite confident it's going to be the Biofocus as opposed to Mech. Where's the Baneling Nest is the only question I have. Is it hiding somewhere? Is it cloaked? Or has Reynor not opted for it yet? He's got roach speed on the way as well. Banelings are a bit of a divisive topic, especially after the significant nerf a few months ago, with 5 less HP, no longer benefiting to get more HP from the Bane Spear, as well as doing less damage from upgrades against light units like Marines. Hey, boys, in the pipe, 5 by... Oh! Changeling, almost able to pass under the radar there, but given away. There's the Baneling Nest, there's the Infestation Pit, but there's a bunch of Marines gunning down some roaches. Gonna lose a couple, but loads up, and now Reynor's still gonna be stuck on defense. As this sort of unit composition just doesn't have any anti-air built in. You got the Queens to politely yet firmly drive away any sort of air units nearby, but overall, Reynor playing for 200 supply. And Clem doing much the same thing. So both players confident that they can take the better end of the end game engagements. And I think both players have a good chance of doing so. It really comes down to exactly when Clem moves out and whether Reynor is able to crush the first attack, because that usually sets the tone for much of the rest of the game. The Queens, ooh, Banshees will cloak and get away in time. Creep spread is over half the map so far. So, overall, a bit of a struggle for Clem. It only takes a couple scans to drive it back, but every second counts, especially when you're up against a Zerg with 90 drones and counting. Oh my god. Reynor. Shades of Scarlet here. Honestly, maybe too many drones. Especially considering that Clem is about to move out. He's got 70 SCVs. He's not building anymore. That's perfect enough for 3-base economy and a 3-base timing here. Right now, Clem has 50 Marines. He's got 3 tanks. He's got enough medevacs to keep him intact. He still has those Banshees as well. So this is that first real timing. We've barely seen anything but skirmishes so far. But now finally, almost 9 minutes in, a counterattack. But Clem, Terran forward. The Marines will spread out. Baneling speed is done. There's no more upgrades to really wait for Reynor. He just needs to find an angle. It's not going to get better with time. Here come the Zerglings from the north side, drawing in a lot of the Widow Mines. A great move out of Reynor. And some more Banelings are making their way by. Going to force the medevacs to pick up, and Reynor is able to clean the field. That flank of Zerglings from the north making all the difference in being able to clear that out. He drags out the Widow Mines, he deals with the siege tanks, and just Marines are not quite enough. At least not yet. Meanwhile, the hive is done. Here comes Clem in the center of the map. Widow Mines finding good connections this time around. He's going to be able to keep the pressure on. And those Marines over on the right flank coming in again. Yes, the Marines driven back a single Bane. Not enough. The Queens trying to help out, but the Marines are standing their ground. Just enough. Queens and Roaches are able to drive them back into the medevacs, but Clem dropped past into the third. He's taking good trades here. He realizes exactly what fights he can take, but these medevacs strain a little too far forward. Oh my god, it almost loses a full one, but it's not quite enough. Reynor holding on to his base as he still has 88 drones. He may be fraying around the edges, but the core, the heart of the swarm remains intact, very much so. As Clem does not have ghosts, he does not have liberators. He has this mid-game army composition, but Reynor has almost skipped past it. He's got Vipers on the way, Adrenal Glands, 2-2 about to complete, and that's going to be even upgrades up against the Terran army. But here come the Widow Mines, a spread that I can't believe is not butter. And now trying to drag in with the Overseers, a few of the Zerglings making it by, but not enough time to trigger the mines. And meanwhile, Zerglings on top of the Marines. Adrenal Glands 2-2. Going to be enough to clean them up, but Clem keeps the pressure on. Vipers, 4 Vipers. Not a single Ghost on the field. The Academy just now started, but it's going to be a long while until the Ghost. Just 2 minutes of constant aggression. Parasitic Bomb combined with the Spore Crawler takes out the Banshee. It fought well, it fought hard, but now it's dead. And there's nothing left to really keep pressure on the ground, as Reynor maintaining 200 supply. He has Ultralisk in production. There are mines scattered throughout the field, but Ultralisk can shrug them off. The Ghost Academy is clearly something that is needed here, and Reynor is not able to really get any sort of counterattacks going, at least so far. +3 Carapace is already on the way. Chitinous plating for the Ultras. Giving him that extra armor that makes him almost invulnerable to Marines. And +3 melee as well. Multiple parasitic bombs. He's, instead of just 2, he's gone with 4 Vipers, and Clem not really quarantining his medevacs is going to lose a whole bunch of them. He actually ends up losing 3-4 medevacs there, and most of the rest are softened up. It's going to make it that much harder to deal with the Ultras. There's not a single ghost on the field. He's only now started adding in Marauders. Reynor's rush to Hive is paying off, but a massive Widowmine hit on the other side. He's lost 200 Zerglings so far. Another Marine mine drop. The Zerglings are going to really struggle to deal with this on their own. The Overseer eating a hit, scattering throughout, and the mines are dealt with. We now have a fusion core on the way. Still one Banshee drawing fire from the corrosive biles, enough to slow things down. The Roach Ravager is not enough here. Corrosive bile going to be dodged, and the medevacs and all their Marines are taken out. Finally, oh my god, he's still going. The Banshee's still going, and he missed the Widowmine there, using that Drilling Claws to reposition it. And now we have some ghosts on the way. Just like Reynor's been able to maintain his bases, Clem has been essentially untouched. 7 drones and 0 SCVs have died this game. So just the armies fighting it out. A surprisingly bloodless game for the workers. But that could change soon as Reynor is closing in on the third base. Widowmine's dragged out into the medevacs. So far, not finding anything really successful here. The Vikings are helping to take out the Vipers, but the parasitic bombs are working away at the air. The Baneling sweeping through on the ground. Reynor's already remaxed out, but Clem may have enough to hold the line. A couple snipes actually interrupted for a moment, but the Widowmines are able to take out the Ultralisks. And without the Vipers here, it gets harder and harder to deal with the Bioball. Clem will hold. He loses 9 SCVs, and Reynor still maxed out. He's got 5 going on 6 bases. He's about to finish 3-3. And he has no reason to stop this aggression. There's nothing back at home to slow him down. 6 more Ultralisks are in production. The Banshee is still going. But at the end of the day, Clem just doesn't seem to have enough to drive him back. He didn't get enough done with those early attacks. Reynor handled it so well and is going full Zerg right now. Caduceus Reactor is on the way. I assume he got advanced ballistics. He's going Caduceus Reactor first. Oh, Clem, how you've changed, but in a good way. That double energy regen on medevac certainly going to help out, as he can't afford to have too many. He needs enough boots on the ground. And the Banelings are rolling in. The Terran unit's quaking in them. Banelings around the corner, really struggling. He stands his ground, holding. The Banelings are not quite enough. Reynor breaks through the the orbital command. The Ultralis now closing in, but the Banelings are mostly exhausted here. Picks up some of the ghosts. Forced back. If this base goes down, Clem not going to be able to hold his ground any longer. And the Ultralis count is so damn high, there's just not enough ghosts. Caduceus Reactor may be done, but that means he has to have something left to heal. Reynor has so much right now. Just this inevitable Zerg style. Clem not finding that multi-pronged aggression. The Widowmines are good, but they can be turned against him. The Ultra's trying to file through the depots here. The Ravagers on the back. This kind of shift into Ravagers has really helped out Zergs in taking out entrenched positions with Widowmines, Liberators, and tanks. And I think paying off here for Jack Frost, aka Reynor, in game number 1. Able to 39 Widowmines, 143 Marines, only, with a big asterisk, only losing 335 Zerglings to do it. Reynor holding his ground against the man who pretty handily dispatched him in DreamHack Atlanta. And that's going to be a solid start for the Zerg here on a map that historically they've struggled. Clem not able to get anything going, which is a bit uncharacteristic lately. But Reynor, he's ready for him. So we got a series. Honestly, Clem has looked dominant against Zerg lately. I mean, anyone who beats Cyril is going to be a favorite. But it's not a walkover indeed. Really, really solid game out of Reynor. I want to point out again that first fight where he turned a counterattack into a flank. And that made all the difference. being able to draw the fire of the tanks and defuse the mines. Of course, defusing means throwing your units at them until they explode, and hopefully you can clear them up. But defuse the mines. Solidly done. Reynor has always been, I guess just recently, it's been with Reynor picking Protoss against Zerg, and then Clem just being head and shoulders above every other Terran, that we haven't included Reynor in that conversation as essentially biting at the heels of Cyril. Nowadays, he's taken his side blades to him, but Reynor has beaten Cyril multiple times in the past. ZVZ, of course, a very volatile matchup, but always been included in that conversation. I think it's only recently that Reynor has maybe not proven himself as capable as Zerg. But beating Clem would go a long way to shoring up that reputation. Alright, Reaper doing as it does. But the Queen gets him. Come on, type it in the chat. Come on. Reynor. They both know. Alright. The amount of mental and emotional back and forth there is on that first Reaper, I can't tell you how annoying. Like, as a Terran, you know you're bothering the Zerg, and as a Zerg, getting the Reaper feels so good. You just want to, if you could physically smirk at them aggressively, that's what killing the Reaper is. And you know Reynor's smirking right now. Clem sticking with his guns and his flame cars and probably his missile gunships. But the standard. Whereas Reynor, once again, going for the 3-hatch. And everything looking straight cut from where you also get the cookies. The cookie cutter. I bake, not cookies. Moving on. Vikings on the way. Well, one Viking. This is a bit of a split from last game. Solaris is a much larger map than Hardlet. It does lend itself a lot more to the turtly late game, much to Reynor's dismay, as we've seen in the recent past. We'll see if Clem decides on an entirely different style here. He's going for the Liberator and the Viking, as opposed to the Banshee early on. Does not require a tech lab on the starport for those. There's the stim, though, so it is going to be a bio follow-up. Just way too costly to go for bio into mech, particularly early on, as usually you're focused on gathering as many minerals as possible, which means not getting additional gas geysers until much later in the game when you're going for upgrades. By much later, I mean 5 or 6 minutes, so we should be seeing Clem get him at the natural soon. But the focus is on building up your infrastructure, getting those extra barracks, getting a third command center. All those things are very mineral heavy. You don't really need gas. Well, you see now. 2 more gases, 2 more engineering bays. You don't need gas until you're working more on the upgrades. Hellions poking, looking for an opportunity. A lot of barracks. Article, I'm going from 1 straight up to 5. Liberator gonna attempt, I believe. Well, he already has the Spore Crawler nearby. I'm gonna move it directly into position. The Queens as well. On all fronts. Pushing the creep out and the Terran's back. Vikings helping to clear up any outlying overlords. How many did he get? Just the 1. Reynor kept the rest pretty close to his chest here. The overlords just kind of wandering in. The Hellions might find an opportunity, roast a couple drones, but slips back out, much to the dismay of the Queen. And Overlord goes down. Kind of surprising any more are going to be killed here, but the Viking about to go into Spore range. Clem should be my Clem. Okay. Oh, that was a bit embarrassing. A Hellion count is quite high. 8 Hellions right now. I'm getting a second factory, it looks like, for mass mine production. Wow. And going... Wait, you can wall that off with 3 depots? Ah. Well, who knew? Geometry experts? I don't know. It seemed like it would take more than that, but... Huh. Good to know. Probably have seen it before and just didn't pay attention. Moving on. Stims in towards the 3rd. Oh. 4th? 4th. Hard to tell, as both these players have decided they're just doing essentially a no rush 200 supply. And no rush means deflecting Hellions and poking away at Liberators, but no sort of concerted push, at least until 7-something minutes. Hydralist den this time around, not bothering with the roaches, but instead the entire queen moot here. 13 queens on the field. What else do you need? The monarchy strongly dislikes the Terrans, and who can blame them? And now a force moving out to the left flank. No 2-2 on the way for Clem. He starts it, but Reynor will have a slight advantage. Just keeping up is the key part of that. Liberator over to the right flank. Reynor not paying attention to this one. Liberator starting to pop the drones. Wow. Meanwhile, Clem with the Widow Mines, making things very difficult for Reynor. 8 drones down. He's going to be forced to build some more defenses as well. Spore Crawler will deal with it. He's actually going to lose a couple more drones before it's all said and done. Trying to drag the Widow Mine in. And 11 drones down, but the Marines on the front line, gunning down the Queens. Oh no. 1, 2, 3. How many Queens so far? He's killed 5 of them. But down go the Medivacs to the Widow Mine. Oh, how the turntables turn as DJ Reynor brings in his Zerglings. The Widow Mine effective against everything nearby. Bit of a double-edged grenade situation. Or like a regular grenade. Those Widow Mines, I mean, those Medivacs going down to Clem's Widow Mine, I think, balanced out his best King Henry impression, slaughtering those queens. As now 2-2 is on the way for both sides. But Reynor, without those Medivacs on the map, he was able to consolidate his bases. And he now has not only 4, but 5. He's going to have a slight upgrade advantage. And he's built up the Hydra count. He now has double-digit Hydras, which means it's a lot harder for Clem to just pick apart Zerglings and Banelings with a couple Medivacs. Hydras are expensive. They take a while to build. They're quite vulnerable in a straight-up fight, but having them on the back line means that Clem can no longer do those perfect splits with 1 or 2 Marines sitting out on their own, because the Hydras will just pick them off. They also outrange the mines as well. So just generally... Oh no, he needs to kill that mine. Oh no. Loses the Hydra, but... trying to chase down another Medivac. We also have an attack up to the north. Jimmy, when we got that picture-in-picture technology? What do you mean 10,000 likes? That's not how... 2-2, +2 infantry weapons done, and Clem making use of it immediately. Oh, the Widow Mine almost obliterate the Medivacs again, but Reynor's able to clean it up. The Hydras are closing and going straight for the Medivacs. Clem retreats, loses 1, gets the rest out, but they're not nearly full. And Clem really struggling to get any momentum here. Again, Reynor is able to stuff him on all sides. The only downside for Reynor here, and it's a significant one, is he doesn't even have the hive done yet. Oh my... The Banelings just evaporated. There's enough Hydras with a good enough concave. The Hydras just have so much DPS that attack upgrades aren't a huge priority, but a Widow Mine drop speeding through the speed zone there, the Bubula. And now, does he have drilling claws? Surprisingly, no. Even though he's had 2 factories for a while. I think a big oversight there. But Clem not having drilling claws for the mines, make it a little harder to get those massive hits. I don't think he's noticed yet. Well, Meanwhile, those are changelings on the mini-map there. More mines. He may notice momentarily when he tries to burrow them. Oh, no. Oh. That mine actually hidden by his own overlord. He starts drilling. Yep, he noticed. Finally realizing. And I think that alone has allowed Reynor to get into this position where he's sitting. Like, Reynor has not lost a hatch. It all started when that Widow Mine. The momentum shifted dramatically when the Widow Mine took out 2 full medevacs. And now Reynor has a hive. He's getting Vipers. He's working on Lurkers. Clem has been unable to break him. But 3-3 is closing in. He's got Ghosts on the way, so he does still have that late game potential. And Reynor still has the prospect of attacking across the map, which is a lot harder than defending on creep. So it's not even close to over yet. Few Widow Mines. Meanwhile, an attack to the north side. Zerglings are not going to be enough here. Need some Banelings. And, oh my god, the Banelings just are not doing it. Parasitic Bomb combined. Widow Mine, Parasitic Bomb, Hydras, and Banelings. He puts it all together. But at the same time, Clem, oh my god, gunning down the Queens, microing back. There's still another mine on the back line. And Reynor is replacing those units as quick as he's losing them. But he is losing them. Clem keeps the pressure on. Just unstoppable Terran aggression. Incessant. Reynor has not been able to push the creep further out, and slowly but surely it feels like Clem is regaining that position that he wanted. Meanwhile, Quarantine's 1 medevac. The Parasitic Bomb's doing a lot of damage there, trying to drag the Zerglings into a massive mine hit. How many Zerglings have died this game? 200 seems low. Feels like so many more, but it has been a lot of small skirmishes where both sides kind of pulled back before the main engagement. And a lot of Banelings out of Reynor as well has been the defining characteristic. Those don't show up as well on the units lost, but are 50 of them targeted down before they could attack. The Lurkers, a couple Lurkers are not going to intimidate Clem. I need at least 5 or 6 of them before he's really gonna take much of a pause. Meanwhile, the Lings and Banes trying to drag into a mine it. He is off a creep, makes it a lot harder to connect with the Banelings. Sacrifice, they'll expect some of us in the wreckage, brothers. The Marines at the front, dragging the units in, helping them clump up so the Widow Mines can get the huge hits. And there's always another mine. The accidental Cyclones for Clem. Targets down. Snipe hits another Viper. Really trying to get the parabombs. Hits 1 EMP, but the others have full energy here. And the Overseers, the Widow Mines, doing terrible, terrible damage. The Overseers dragging the mines over the Terran army. He loses enough of them that he's actually supply blocked, which is kind of incredibly unfortunate at this exact timing. But he really wants to press the point home. He's been able to drive Clem back to his 3rd. But at the end of the day, he's not able to do much more. Oh no, the Widow Mines taking out Lurkers. That Lurker, very sad. Oh no. Larry! He's, tough day. How many Banelings on the field? 27 Banes and counting. So many Banelings. Clem has held for now, but the Hydraling Bane is still doing so well. Parasitic Bomb. Terrible, terrible damage. The Widow Mine's not finding enough. The Overseer's leading the charge. EMP on the Viper means no more Parabombs. He's going to split and stim back. Another Widow Mine not going to find it. Joins up with the rest of the army. Coming through the Bubula here. The Baneling's trying to close the distance. Clem still struggling to stabilize. There's still so many Banelings left over. He's going to drive his way to the front, but he spotted the burrow. I didn't even notice it before Clem did. Clem scans and deals with the burrowed Banes. And Reynor struggling to actually drive the point home. There are orbitals there. He picks up the units. He gets them out. Micros over the top. He's going to have to come through some more mines. Reynor has not killed a base throughout all this. There's a planetary here. Microing back. into the planetary. Actually, a little off center. The ghosts go forward, but some of them escape into the medevacs, and the planetary can't lift off. And the first real base, is that the first one? Yes, the first base of the game in 16 minutes is taken down. These two back and forth. Just ridiculous amounts of units. So far, 50,000 resources lost in 16 minutes. Exhausting, as their economies are massive, as neither is able to find a decisive engagement. Reynor keeps getting whittled down by the mines scattered throughout the map. And by the time he gets to any critical location, he doesn't have the critical mass of units to drive the point home. But lurkers, and anything he can do to spread Clem more thinly. No scan, may be able to kill the ghost in time. That one lurker was in range. Ooh, Widowmine finishes off a lurker. The lurker was in range of the missile turret, but he didn't realize the rest were out of it. And a snipe cleans up the lurker. But that allows Reynor to send 100 or so Zerglings in. Oh no. Well, Widowmine's helping out against him. So many hits, but Reynor's close. He's still at 200 supply. It seems like as the mines hit the Zerglings, he's just holding down the Z key in order to make another round. And he's coming in again. The snipe's lining up. Another mine hit. Does terrible, terrible damage. Did he miss this main mine? Both players did. Oh, but he's back over and he comes in again, and that might be the difference maker. Mines on both sides. And the Banelings take out a clump of the Marines, but the ghosts, the lurkers to the north side, we're not done. They're still going. He might be able to save the planetary. A Liberator coming up. He's going to lose some of the SCVs. He's microing them out of the lurker hits here. Liberator sieging up. Zerglings to the southern side. Massive mine hit. There's some Banelings at the north, but the blood scattered throughout the field as the mines just obliterate the Zerglings. And the Liberators are able to defend the base, but Clem is still scrambling. Reynor, 500 APM. 550. Let's not sell him short. Clem, 430. Very respectable, but it's not enough. Lurkers to the north. Lurkers at the center. But the Liberators move to match them. EMP's onto the Vipers and trying to drive him. He just tries to unburrow the Banelings. Is it enough? He's holding, but the high ground is breached. Half a dozen Liberators show up to the party. And so much. God, what a game. Exhausting. We're up to 70,000 resources lost in less than 20 minutes. Absolutely barely able to keep up with this level of production. But Reynor slowly but surely dipping in supply. He's not able to keep up with the amount of efficiency that Clem is bringing to the table. The Widow Mines, the Liberators, the Marines have been mostly sliced out of the equation, but the rest of the units, he has Caduceus Reactor, he has Advanced Ballistics. Reynor has not finished. +3. And for the first time in what seems like decades, the battle will slow down as Reynor starts to realize he can't put enough on the field. Clem has survived the Zerg. And Reynor doesn't have enough minerals to rebuild. Suddenly, Clem has 10 Liberators. And there's nothing to really match them. The Hydras are not going to be enough. He has +2 plating for the Liberators and Medevacs as well. And Widow Mines. The Lurkers. But I don't know how he's done it. But Clem has survived the swarm. And Reynor's high aggression, just constant momentum-based style, has gone up against Clem's multi-pronged defense in depth. And it looks like Clem might have enough to now turn the tide yet again. The Lurkers are coming up, but there's so many Liberators already. The Lurkers are the only thing keeping the bio at bay. But eventually the Liberators... Oh, but he's gonna counter-snipe. He takes out both Vipers, and he's only able to get 1 Liberator for the cost. And just as the times of plenty meant hundreds of Zergs on the field, now there's nothing left. Clem closes in, and the Terran army, while it's being whittled down, it's not being knocked out. Reynor's down to 120 supply. What a masterclass out of Clem. Somehow survives 10 straight minutes of 300 supply Zerg. And while Clem doesn't know it for sure, Reynor knows it. He needs to get something done now. But what does he have? What's left? The army supplies are not there. There's no infestors waiting to get that beautiful fungal. There's no brood lords to try to grind things down with corruptors. If Clem fights poorly into lurkers, that might be the start of it. There are still vipers on the field. The spine crawler's helping out a bit. He abducts a ghost. But a liberator siege is up. He splits, he stims. Blinding cloud attempted. The lurkers are grinding through, but Marines have found their way into this southern base. Reynor refuses to die. Did he just select all army hockey? I think he did. Clem? Well, he still has a Widow Mine. Maybe he just wanted him to transfer back into the mine. A Liberator. There's not many minerals left to siege. They're all towards the center. Making it very, I think, almost impossible to deal with that without Vipers. Yanks in another couple. But he's just stimming on top of the lurkers here. There's still one Liberator. It's dealt with, but at what cost? As soon as the supply turned into Clem's favor, it was clear which direction this game was going. It looked like Reynor, for 5 or so minutes, may very well overrun and break through. But Clem kept turning him back. The Widow Mines are really the best hope of Reynor right now, as Clem continues to prairie dog them. He's trying to use them against the medevacs yet again. The last clutch of Hydras here. Reynor's down to 42 drones. He's lost 28 in the last minute. But now down goes a base. Reynor down under 100 supply. The reinforcements are here. And that should be it. The orbital won't die. The reinforcements are too much. The Hydra's evaporating. Clem has held in an epic game. 100. That's a new record. That has to be a new record. Almost all of these games involve Clem, but after 700 Zerglings, 105,000 resources lost in 24 minutes. While there were, and almost all of them between like 7 and 20 minutes. Absolutely exhaustive game. But at the end of the day, the Marines, the Mines, and the Medevacs, followed up by the Ghosts and the Liberators. Reynor not playing that turtly infestor style. He tries to run him down and knock him out. But Clem says not today. Kind of crazy how the role reversal there with Reynor winning on the smaller map that benefits aggression more, and Clem winning on the map that is a bit more drawn out macro style. Which brings us all tied up into game number 3. Side Delta. Clem 1, Reynor 1, Barracks 2 this time around. Just grab your emotional support, Zerglings. Take a breather. I think we all could use one after that game. God. Double Rax Reaper. Multiple queens. So it looks like this is just the straight up pressure. Gonna keep them on the bottom of the ramp. Keep them busy. Been a while. For some reason, this map is the most popular for this Reaper style. I don't know how much it has to do with the ramp to the high ground, which not all maps feature. That makes it a little easier to defend against early aggression on both sides. But obviously, once you go past that, honestly, maybe Clem is looking to use it against the queen, or he's just looking to mix it up. Either way. Factory set behind. You can see already mapping out the add-ons there. A little awkward on that side of the map, quite literally that side, as add-ons must be placed in the top right or the right side of the barracks. Only the right, not the left, not on top. Everyone knows it's the right side or nothing, because anything else would be wrong. 2 command centers. Looks like he will cancel the 3rd hatchery, even adding that little bit of DPS on the grenades there. Which I'm not sure how much that actually adds. Well, 15 damage. Reynor waiting it out. Literally the last second before the Reapers kill it. Gets the drone. And Clem is already following it up with Cyclones. Is it going to be the attack of the clone style build? Or, oh, the Queens? Get a Reaper. Bit of a Brenda bounce there. But he may... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. He gets her, but it costs a 2nd Reaper. Was it? No. The Overlord! No witnesses! Taking the brunt of it. It is going to be bow behind. He already has 2 racks lined up. Just a couple clones, helpful for taking out Overlords and continuing to make the Queens very uncomfortable. Or dead. Which I guess is not uncomfortable. Just a bit existential there. But Overlord spotted. Will be taken out by the clones as they work their way forward with the last Reaper. Can he kill that? Not quite. Almost. Maybe a couple more grenades. But here are the clones. Without Zerglings, going to be quite annoying to deal with, but thankfully he does indeed have Zerglings. They're kind of hiding in the corner here, waiting to wrap around. Gonna get the creep tumor. Wrap around there, trying to make sure he's in position so the queens can get involved, but grenade? Beautiful grenade. Or was it? Kind of gets surrounded. It's still a bit costly here for Reynor, but dealing with the Cyclones means the queen should be able to drive the rest back. There is one. Struggling back to the creep. But behind it, Clem. Would you believe it? He's got multiple barracks, stim, and is building medevacs. Well, if he wasn't supply blocked at 69, he would be building medevacs. I believe he canceled some SCVs just to get one out, but that's actually quite a hard supply block. He drops a depot in order to alleviate it somewhat, yeah. Anything slowing down the medevac timing is going to make it that much easier for Reynor to build up that critical mass. So that way, not only can he defend, but the most important thing is deny the third. Armory. Nearly done as well. Well, armor. Wait, whoa. How many Hellions does he have? Only 3 Hellions. So, quite a quick armory. Does he have any Whittle Mines? No Whittle Mines. Just the 3 Hellions. I guess he wants quick Hellbats there. A bit odd to see with the upgrade so far off, but I guess it doesn't hurt. You're going to want it eventually, more than likely. So the attack. Put some Hellbats together. +1/+1. About to finish, though, for Reynor. He should have what it takes to deal with this. The queen count is already high enough. The +1 Carapace is going to help out a lot here against a mostly Marine army. Of course, the medevacs already kills 1. The Hellbats, not quite so quick as their more wheel-based counterparts. May be able to cancel the 4th base. The Marines, the Queens on the opposite side. Oh, he doesn't cancel. Loses those minerals. Unfortunate. But not really going to change things too much. Honestly, that was the highest impact of anything done there, is canceling that 4th. I keep saying cancel. He destroyed it, but No fourth base means this very larva-intensive unit composition is going to struggle to put enough units on the field. Only 3 hatcheries is not enough to support mid-game Ling Bane, let alone if he tries Bermudas with a Spire in the production tab. The Lings and Banes, Widowmine hits, the Queen's holding it together for now. And the Queen's really the only line of defense for so long. And don't you forget it. Okay, kid. Simmer down. Sorry, I blacked out for a sec. Unfortunately, with the Queens on the low ground, that means the Zerglings are left to defend the main. Thus, and using the spawning pull against him. A double drop headed to the north side. If those mutas don't come out soon, Clem is going to continue racking up the damage. He's got a Widowmine jammed in there. The Queens find one of the medevacs. The other 2 lift up. And Widowmines take out the vast majority of the units that could repel. Oh, it's starting to get he's just tearing him apart. And suddenly, abruptly, but predictably, Clem takes it. Wow. It went from kind of a half-hearted attack into a win in about 2 minutes there. But Clem with Marines and medevacs is really, at the end of the day, all he needs. Well, 2-1 Clem. Quite a turnaround as Reynor. A decisive game 1, followed up by Clem just demonstrating how far ahead of pretty much every other Terran in the world he is. You can't let a single medevac slip through. God. Heading into Golden Aura. 2-1 Clem. Will Reynor switch it up or just try to fill in the gaps? Clem in the bottom right, Reynor top left. Still not sure about the Jack Frost nickname. We might see a return to Liquid Clam. There's probably a storyline behind it. I can't really be one to criticize winter-based nicknames, though, so. Back to the 1 rag 6 span. Clem starting up the Reaper. I haven't seen any sort... that was the closest to early aggression that either player has done. The 2 Rex Reaper into the medevac follow-up. And I think if the medevacs had come out on time, that would have looked a lot scarier too. That was with Clem getting supply blocked for like 15 seconds, and then only having 1 medevac, and really not having nearly as many Hellions as he probably should have. The Hellbats just... It was a momentum-based style, though. Because at the end of the day, Reynor was unable to get his 4th base up, and that quickly spiraled out of control. Another demonstration of why mutas are usually kind of left by the wayside, and not really the choice, is the Spire just... It's costly, and it takes a long time to finish. It takes the same amount of time, relatively, that it did in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm. It's just both sides have a much higher economy, and they can build up a stronger attack by the time the Spire comes out. So the mutas don't really have usually much of a window to not only be out in time to defend, but to get damage done on the other side, which is historically what they have wanted to do as a straight-up fighting unit. They're just simply not very good. Wow. Oh, come on. I can't. He comes in, bounces 1 queen out of the way, just tanks the attacks of the other and kills the creep tumor. All right. That is... It's just disrespectful. And now, come on. He just gets into the main, trying to spot whether there's a lair. He can figure out via the queen count, by the way, You don't need to see necessarily whether there's a lair yet. You can count the queens, because you can only build so many queens if you've already turned one of your hatcheries into a lair. So that is the only limitation. You can't build a queen while the lair is building. So, but at the same time, I mean, seeing the third base timing. The Cyclones are here. Behind it, Clem. Looks like he's going to build up to a bio attack. He's just adding in another clone behind, just going to keep the pressure on. Sitting right on the front lawn, right on the edge of the creep. We now have Stim on the way. Should come as no surprise. Reynor not bothering with roaches. Instead, oh, he's got Overlord speed as... Oh, that was a misclick of some kind. The god. Gets the Reaper at least, the Queens. And the Zerglings from the back. Get off my queen! And crushes the Cyclones. Much more efficient than last game. Loses barely any legs and no queens. And that is definitely a momentum shift in such a momentum-based matchup. Getting all that, quite an investment in time and resources in those Cyclones. And he's killed 5 Zerglings. That's not remotely close to enough. That's not even the same zip code as enough. And now Reynor has 3... There's nothing can threaten him now. He has more than enough queens to defend any sort of follow-up. The medevacs, he just finished the starport. I can't stress how much space Reynor has. He's going to get a 4th. He's going to get his upgrades. Does he have a lair started? Not yet. He's just going to have a huge amount of production. He has an upgrade advantage lined up as well. There's the lair. 66 drones already. He'll probably go to 70, 75. And then units, well, Zerglings, and Banelings. I assume Banelings. He doesn't have a Baneling nest yet, but soon. 3 more gases on the way as well. May try the mutas again. And at this point, just Zergling should work well at... Okay, that's not what I meant, but... I'm not locked in here with you, though, says Clem. It kind of is, though. As this is any mining time lost. Any time he's able to buy here. And another group of Zerglings. On its way out. Getting a bit more costly. There's the Bane nest. Bit late to get Bane speed on time. Dozen more Zerglings on the way. 1-1 will be done momentarily. But Clem is coming out with those first 2 medevacs. The Zerglings getting chased down by the Hellions. Might find an opportunity at the 3rd. Splits off a couple. But back at home. Now he's trying for the Spire yet again. Widow Mines are going to burrow. Eats a hit. And the Marines really starting to chunk through. Reynor deals with it, but... a bit of a costly fight there. Trades like that are how things start spiraling. But such a key difference. He has the 4th base done. Without it, you can't sustain the level of production you need. And look at Reynor right now. He already has 1,000 minerals in the bank. Hundreds of gas. He starts his 2-2. And then he's going to be able to bank up enough for mutas. The big difference here will be the unit count that he's able to put on the field before the mutas, which should be enough in order to at least have them see the light of day. Clem works around the edges. Always good at whittling down as much as he can. Widow Mines will burrow, but a little on the late side. Banelings, deal with them. Might be able to get this 5th base. Banelings closing in. Clem picks up. Spire's done, but Banelings are just waddling into the 3rd and awkward. Oh, 17 SCVs. Terrible, terrible damage. And that undercut any sort of progress that Clem just made on the other side of the map. He's kept the creep at bay. He's keeping pressure on the 5th base. But 17 SCVs are going to undercut any efforts to follow that up. Reynor has not built any mutas. How much larva? He has no larva in order to build those mutas. He's just building Zerglings right now. He's into the natural. He runs the risk of not having enough at home. Another Queen immolated. 11 SCVs down to the Zerglings. More Widow Mines coming in, but he actually drags out the hit, diffuses it pretty well. So 13 more SCVs down, and Banelings rolling up. Ooh, big hit from the mines. But Clem, well, he has the army supply. 5 mutas on the way. The 5th base nearly dead to a single Marine. No, a single Marine left. Medevac goes down with the Widow Mines. He picks up a mine diffused. 10 mutas. At some point, you just manually detonate the Banes, I think. The mutas are out. Big Gabe has joined the field. Oh no, the Widow Mines! A split second too late and loses another clutch of Zerglings. And Clem maintains an army supply lead, but finally 2-2 is done. How many Banes on the field? Only 2, that's not enough. If he targets those, there's nothing. The Marines! He's about to... Oh, they finish at the right time. The Widow Mines do not burrow. He has to pick up. Oh, that was close. Reynor still struggling to put enough out there. He sent so many Zerglings to counterattack. The mutas were a bit late. And Clem is still dangerous here. Down 40 SCVs, but he still has Marines, Mines, and Medevacs. So many Banelings. 26 Banes in production. The Widow Mines being dealt with. The Zerglings have a 2 upgrade advantage. And the mutas are on the other side of the map, finding more opportunity in essentially anywhere. Oh, no repair! He clears out the 3rd. The 5th base was taken down, but Reynor, all he has to do is hold now. He's killing SCVs. He might kill the orbital. Unlikely, but we'll see. The Liberator. The Widow Mines and the Liberator make this a very difficult position to dislodge. But the economy isn't there for Clem to follow this up. He's just going to fight Marines. A single medevac is not enough. Widow Mines might be. Ooh, big hit there. You got to be very careful with those mutas. The Queens will deal with the Liberator. He's dropping out. Thor is here. And more Marines, really demonstrating the paper-mache mutas and how difficult it is to even keep them alive. The army supplies are still even. The mutas more of a liability than a benefit at this point. They have kept Clem busy. They've kept his economy in check. And if they hadn't, there's still a risk here of a bad fight going towards Clem. The Widow Mines. Thor. Definitely not a target the Banelings want to deal with. Well, no one wants to deal with it, but somebody has to. Zergling counterattack will force the issue. And driven back, the Thor is taken down while Clem looking the other way at the few remaining SCVs. Well, he just can't quite break through. The mines are not enough. And GG. We're going to Game 5. Barely breaking through with the mutas still. A titanic effort. But eventually, he drowns Clem in the sheer amount of units. It's just too much. The mutas, I don't know if they were the right call, but they were right enough. And Game 5 now. Already, Reynor winning more games than Cyril was able to in the last best of 5, the high-profile one. But Clem's still so... as long as Clem has more than 2 medevacs of Marines and Widow Mines, he's not dead. And in fact, he's still a deadly threat. So we'll see. Going into the final match of this ESL Cup Finals. I don't know what happened to Max Packs. I assume one of them took him out in time to prevent that finals from happening again. But Jimmy, Game 5, Alkione. I say that because, well, part of it is that Reynor has not consistently played in the ESL Cups as much as Clem and Max Packs. But in general, those two have just found a way to the finals somehow. I'm not sure if it's a seeding system that allows them to be on opposite sides of the bracket so much, but this time around, Reynor making it through. And now, the decider match will be Double Rax Reaper. It's going to be a command center behind. So no 3 racks, no sort of all-in cheese. He did find a lot of success on side Delta, so we'll see here. Gets the spore. Or cancel, delays, stops the drone from dying with the spore. Words mean things. Citation needed. Going in, trying to pick him off. Queens firmly making sure those Reapers aren't able to get anything extra done. And Reynor not even bothering with a 3rd hatch this time around. Just gonna set up the defense. Throws down a Roach Warren. Let the Reapers watch, he says. Two command centers. It's gonna be 3cc either way. It's always 3cc. If I had $1 for every time I saw a Terran go 3cc, I'd have about as many dollars, maybe minus 10% of the amount of Terran games I've cast against Zerg. Only the most dramatic cheeses and occasional 2 base attempts, but somewhere like 90% nowadays. Having that 3rd orbital, the key is that the orbitals almost always pay off. A mule mines 200, 220 or so minerals, so it only takes a few mules. On top of the fact, obviously, command centers build SCVs, which also mine minerals, and are very scared of being replaced by automation, which is why mules can't mine gas as well, and also for balance reasons or something like that, which we did attempt in Legacy of the Void. That was a big mistake. That was a terrible week or 2. It was very quickly reverted because it broke everything. Well, the Roaches are on their way across the map. He's actually committing to this aggression. The Cyclones, just get him to make a few more Zerglings. Already a few clones. So can Clem defend against an all-in 2-base Zerg? He's got his base set up well. I don't know if Stim will complete, as the tech lab is stuck on the outside. There's going to be half a dozen Ravagers ready to go, and dozens of Zerglings as well. 30 Zerglings on the field, another dozen in production. Just 2 Cyclones for now, a couple Hellions, very important in helping to deal with these Zerglings. He locks on a bit, the Zerglings get the wraparound, and he slips back a bit, and 1 Cyclone taken down, another one pops out. More about to finish. Still a bit of an awkward fight. He really doesn't want to get bottled up and allow Reynor to siege his way through. But he loses the stim pack, locks onto one of the Ravagers, doesn't quite pick it off. Every corrosive bile is very important right now. Cyclone, that 1 Cyclone is the only thing can really challenge the Ravagers with. The siege will continue. Repairs, the only clone left. The factory itself. Medevac comes out, given some micro potential. He really wants that 2nd Cyclone. Reynor's getting another base behind. Oh, and Micro's back. He tries to lock on. The factory thrown up. Corrosive Bile takes down a depot, but Clem going to try to move out here. He's chasing down he's hunting the Ravagers with the clones, and he's dodging the hits with the Medevac. Are you kidding me? Just dodge, bro. Well, gotta be careful about throwing Corrosive Bile into your own units. There's nothing that can hit the Medevac reliably here, but at the same time, the Zerglings. So somehow, this ended up not really going either way. He's gonna repair the factory, barely. He rebuilt the tech lab, which is a bit optimistic. The Cyclone's looking to lock on to the Ravagers. The tech lab will burn. Stim is denied again. Reynor has a lot of units here. He's only got 32 drones back at home. He's very all in right now. Clem dodges the hits with the Ravagers. Gonna try to break through the bunker. The repair is good enough. He's holding the line. The bunker is not dying. He scatters onto the SCVs. But Clem... Oh, no. Well, he killed 17 SCVs, which is not enough. The bunker may fall. But at what cost? The Cyclone's micro back. He gets it back into the medevac. A siege tank comes out. And Reynor is held at the door. The Cyclone, that's a siege tank drop now. Oh, and just shoulders out of the way. And Reynor has no choice but to follow up. He spots more roaches coming across, and Clem realizes all he has to do is survive. He lost a lot of SCVs, but with 3 CC and all the SCVs he had before, he's still at the economic advantage. And Reynor, a pale comparison to the units he once had. Only 3 Ravagers in this attack. He might be able to get combat shield, but he hasn't dealt with the factory units. He never killed the factory. Triple bile doesn't even kill the tank. Clem will hold a bloodbath, and it's all Zerg. GG. Clem. He holds the line with an extra base and just a handful of units, but Reynor put him in the hot seat. But Clem is too hot right now. 3-2. 139 Zerglings taken down. 11 Ravagers. Reynor not able to finish him off, and Clem still stands atop a pile of bones. Another incredible series from those two, but Clem again showing why he's the best right now, and arguably the best player in the world at the moment. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully that series made your day a little bit better. If you got the means of motivation, it'd be awesome to check out Patreon. Otherwise, I hear liking and subscribing is still free for now. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Make sure to check out recommended autoplay. Very helpful. And the second channel for more content from StarCraft and other games you may have heard of. I've heard there are a few RTS coming out, and you'll find some gameplay on the second channel and some streams from there. I keep forgetting to promote that, so link in the description. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun. Stay tuned.